Welcome to the Forward Podcast. I'm Thomas Shepard here with my wife, and we are here on our 101 episode.
101 episodes.
Only 99 to go, and we'll be at our 200.
Oh my word, that sounds far away.
Hey, we can count down, right?
Look at our son.
Oh my lands. I know. If only people could see behind the scenes of what we have to go
our house. I know. Our kids sneaking by.
Try to get going even at night.
Sneaking snacks because they know we're not going to stop the podcast and say, you can't have that.
Then we give it to them afterwards.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Oh, my word. Well, hey, we heard so much great feedback from this last week. We were able to be in Israel and record from there, which was really awesome to do our 100th episode there.
I'm still not over our trip yet. It was.
You're tired, aren't you?
I'm so tired.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
babe. We started this way too late.
We did, but it's
apologize.
Okay. No, we had no choice.
We had a lot going on the last couple of days. It's been nuts. Even tonight,
the last couple
crazy.
Days, it's been a week of craziness.
Weeks.
Yeah,
we got back from Israel and absolutely hit the ground running.
I know. I told my mom, like, the universe made us pay. They're like, you don't take 10 days off.
There is.
We got back and it was. Oh, yeah,
it went crazy.
Yeah, it went crazy.
Everything
it was
wild.
like, every category of our lives was on fire. But not terrible, just catching up. And actually, some of it was terrible.
Yeah, it's been,
anyways,
it's been
crazy
life. That's for sure. Okay, so Kari, we really want to jump into kind of our subject for this evening. And what I want to kind of address, I feel like, this is for every generation, and the subject is what fear is stealing from your future. Mm-hmm. And that's not, I think automatically we hear that, we think, oh, okay, well, that's for young people. That's for, teenagers or for young married. But it's really not.
No.
Let me dive into this for just a moment. We really do live kind of in a bubble over the last 50, 60 years that has created very insecure and very fearful human beings. We are, in every aspect, very fearful people.
Yeah.
And I think for some people it frustrates them because, like, man, I'm scared of this and I want to overcome my fear and I want to conquer this. And then there are those that just have accepted it like it's life.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I could never because why? Well, because of fear.
Yeah.
And so this subject, I really believe, can go to any generation, but it is definitely a subject that is stealing from our future.
Yeah.
It's taking away from some really awesome experiences that we could be having, and we're not. And it's because fear is stopping us. Mm-hmm. Can you think of anything? I'm asking you all this. I know you're tired, but let me ask you. Can you think of anything that you feel like fear in this area I've seen is really holding people back nowadays?
Interestingly enough, I think the elderly generation, I've noticed that they're very afraid financially. Yeah. And I say that because I work in insurance, and the most people that come in, the most common age group to come in is the elderly, because they like to come pay their bills in person. Yeah. It's cute.
Just crazy.
They just don't, they don't have a lot to do, so they come in and pay or whatever. They like the face-to-face and all that. So I talk to elderly people daily, and it really does surprise me. And I only notice because I'm thinking ahead for our future.
Right.
So I'm kind of taking note of, maybe the people 20, 30 years older than us. And they are afraid. Maybe they didn't plan well financially, or they didn't, build a strong enough family that they have someone to support them or help them or whatever. But that's kind of scary for me to see the elderly generation falter instead of like spending these years building and having surety in the future. They are very fearful, and it breaks my heart, because at that age, your options are less, your energy is less. Right. And so it's scary to think that, you get to that age and things fall apart. But fear plays a big role because it can be paralyzing.
Right.
And I remember you said in a sermon one time, I can't quote it exactly, but you said fear is immobilizing and faith is mobilizing.
Right.
So like fear freezes you,
Right.
but when you have faith, it moves you to action.
So true.
And I never forgot that, because I thought any area in my life in which I'm frozen and I'm not moving forward, from now on, I'm going to view it like you said in that sermon, like there's something I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not having faith.
Right.
And there's a lot to be said for caution and praying and taking your time, and timing is everything. But there are steps that we can take we're just afraid to do.
Right.
And so I think it just kind of seeing these older people and that stage of life, and I'm like, oh my word, they're literally like not okay.
Yeah.
And it's not just one. I mean, it's several out there that are struggling, and it just makes me like, I don't want to live in fear of our future, but at the same time, it's just kind of using wisdom to ask them like, hey, what would you have done differently?
Right. I think fear often comes because of what we allow into our echo chamber, what we allow into our homes.
Yeah.
And so you deal with a lot of elderly that have more time on their hands. And so they're going to watch and be influenced by news and media and what scares them.
Yes.
It's funny because some things are like legit, like not all fear is bad.
Right.
There is healthy fear for sure.
Yes.
Healthy fear, you fear dying in a car, so you drive the speed limit.
Right.
Those are good things. You fear of hurting your back, so you're going to lift with your legs. Those are things that are healthy. We're talking about things that are unhealthy.
Right.
And it steals from your happiness to your joy to even, I feel like we miss a lot of opportunities because we allow fear that we've never tested overtake us. There's a lot of people that will not travel, and it's because they just have this weird fear.
Yeah.
It's not. I've gotten to this place where I just ask people like, "Oh, what happened? Were you in a wreck, or did your plane go down, or like?" But no, it's just, "Oh, I can never do that." Why?
Yeah.
Well, not because of financial issues, not because of health issues. I could never fly. I could never go there. I could never be
in a different culture or away from America.
Right.
Yeah.
I could say this because they don't listen to the podcast, but I did have somebody who would not go on this Israel trip, and they could. Their health was good. They financially could afford it. They had the time, but they would not go because of fear of being in Israel and something happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got back, and then the only thing they say is they send me a text, and it shows everything that's taken place with Iran and Israel, but we're already back. Like we've been back for a week.
Yeah.
So I wrote them back and said, praise the Lord, we had a safe trip. You missed out. You missed the trip of a lifetime. You missed it. And why? Because of something that you could not control. And so I feel like fear definitely steals our opportunities. It often keeps people from stepping into things that could really change their life, more than just a trip to Israel. We've talked about it, but you starting a business or making a career move or sharing your faith or giving the gospel to someone else, repairing a relationship, many opportunities will disappear because we're stuck in this motion of like, if I step out, this might not be good.
Yeah.
I'm just fearful. So what we fear, I think oftentimes boils down to three things, and we've kind of written these down. So let me start with the first one. I think oftentimes we fear failing publicly.
Yeah.
I think this does play a massive part, especially in Christianity, because we kind of grew up with like, everybody's looking at us. We have to have the perfect life, and we can never make any mistakes.
Yeah,
and
your image, your facade.
Your image, yeah. So it was, I think generally there really is a fear, and it's been in my life for sure, that if I step out, if I make a career change, if I do this, somebody's going to look at me foolishly. And what if I step out and I fail? Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to be judged. And the judgment from your friends and family and people around us.
People are very afraid of being judged.
They are. Yeah. And so I feel like number one would be failing publicly can hold us back for sure.
And looking foolish, we kind of hit that already. Yeah. But just being embarrassed, being, feeling like I failed and people are looking at me and I feel stupid. That's very common. I think too, it's like now it's a weird kind of twist, but I'm almost afraid more of like what my own family thinks. You know, if I do something, I'm like, are the kids going to think, oh my word, my mom's so embarrassing? You know, but at this age, that can be, that can play into it. You care what your family thinks. And then, you know, you also, if you're making the wrong decision, there's some decisions that you make and the risk is high, you know, so it's easier. It's like, well, maybe if I just don't step out and take this risk, then I'll be okay, you know, but that would be a good payoff, but it's too high of a risk. And so I'm just going to stay safe. And that it is easy to be safe. It really is. I know I've done that a few times in my life, and it's like, but then you miss out. You miss out on the lessons you learn from failing. You miss out on what if you actually would have done it. You know, it's just, I don't know. It definitely, wisdom plays into it. You have to seek the Lord and you have to use wisdom too, but I'm a risk taker. Are you a risk taker?
You are more than I am.
Yeah.
You really are.
I'm definitely like, I should never start gambling because I would probably lose everything.
You'd be all in. you wouldn't even look at your cards. You just say, nope, I'm all in. I already know I won.
It's true.
No, I really do. I think there are those who, like myself, can blame. The kids had the window open. They can blame playing it safe. Hold on a minute. It's it was just a gnat.
In my hair?
Sorry, anybody's watching this YouTube knows what we're doing, but we had a gnat come in here.
Flew right in my face.
I think oftentimes my personality, we can blame it on, you know, we want to play it safe. In all honesty, it's a gut feeling of just fear. And I don't want to step out. And it does. It's going to steal opportunities. And so oftentimes we look at fear in a way of like, I have to make every decision, and every decision I make has to be exactly right. And we know that is not how life works. Oftentimes we do fear making that wrong decision. But when we look at it as a whole, growth always requires a step before even certainty, before, okay, I got it, we're good, it's 100%. No, sometimes stepping out of the boat, it's like you don't know how that first step is going to go. And so you don't have to see really the entire path. You don't have to see everything in front of you, but you do have to take the next step. And somebody once said, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward anyways. And oftentimes, even for me, that is sometimes difficult. But you have to realize when you live in fear, fear is going to steal opportunities. I really think about you and buying your business this past year.
Oh my goodness.
Like, didn't you feel like that was one of the most major steps you've had to make, right? In a long time?
I'm going to turn a little bit because I feel like I'm twisting my neck. I've said it before on the podcast. I cried the whole day. I had to make the decision, and I had to like put pen to paper and sign my name on the letter of intent. And I was so emotional because it was the most fear I have felt in a long time. And I just was so paralyzed. Like, God, I'm so terrified to do this. I really wanted to. But the weight of the decision really fell on me that day. And I literally just had to do it all by myself. I had to get a loan. You weren't even there. I didn't even tell you I was going to make the call. And I did. I just got a loan, and I was like, I've got to do it before I back out because I know this is what God wants me to do. And that fear was so strong. And it kind of leads into our second point. Fear really does exaggerate the risk in your mind. Like, if you just sit down and talk about it. I remember 2 weeks before we bought the business, we were talking about our dreams and goals, and we were so excited. And then it's like, the more afraid I became, the bigger it got. And like all the excuses of why we shouldn't kept growing. And I kept thinking, why am I focusing so much on the negatives and what could go wrong? But I think it's fear that just like, it's almost putting a magnifying glass up to it. Like, fear just takes it and blows it up into this scary, and even though it might actually be scary, and it might actually, there are some downsides and there are some reasons to fear, and that's natural. But if you let that grow and you keep letting fear loop in your brain, like, this is going to go wrong and you're not going to do it and you're going to fail and everybody's going to see it, and all this thing, and then it just blows it up. And what once was like, okay, it definitely needs to be on the balance sheet of pros and cons, Now it's like the whole balance sheet is just cons because
Yeah.
your brain has just run away
Right.
with that emotion.
Right.
And so I think that's a huge thing when you're going to make a decision. If maybe you're candidating for a new church, or you're considering leaving the ministry, or a new job in general, all these things that are big life changes, kids or empty nest, whatever, that fear just, it should play a part, but it should not be the main actor.
Yeah, you're right. It does. Fear exaggerates the risk.
Yes.
And oftentimes we can't see it. But we've said so many times, God has never created us to arrive, safely at death. He's
Right.
made us to be playmakers. He has created us not to live in this tiny little bubble where we never step outside of our
Yeah.
our zone of like, oh, I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
So many times you and I have made massive moves in ministry and our
Yeah.
homes and in life, and people I could never do that. Well, you could.
Yeah.
It's just stepping out, looking at the situation honestly, and then not letting your mind run away in fear.
Yeah.
There's always going to be risk, and sometimes you do fail.
Yeah.
So not everything we've ever done has worked out so perfectly.
Right.
We've bought cars that have not worked out. We've made financial decisions that did not work out.
Mm-hmm.
We've made major moves that didn't last near as long as we thought they would.
Yeah.
But we still made moves based on this is what God wants us to do,
Mm-hmm.
evaluating, putting into perspective, and then realize what is our end game.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew the end game for us, you buying a massive business last year in 2025, the end game was huge. The risk is huge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest financial decision you and I have by far ever made in our lives.
Yeah.
But we knew, number one, God was leading.
Yeah.
And number two, what was our end game?
Yeah.
Our end game was this is financially going to make our family stable
Mm-hmm.
generationally.
Yeah.
The long game was looking way down the road and seeing this is going to help with retirement one day. This is
Mm-hmm.
going to help put our kids through college and weddings and everything else. And
Yeah.
so, although the risk was huge, like you almost lost your mind trying to get that loan through and
Yeah.
all the learning and test, but we kept not allowing that
Yeah.
to make us back out.
Yeah.
And several times I asked you, Kara, we can stop this right now. Do you want to back out? And you forged your way forward. Why?
Yeah.
Because you knew you had evaluated the situation honestly, and you were not going to let fear exaggerate the risk.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I don't know how people make decisions without knowing God and trusting
Tough.
in Him.
Right?
I'm a feelings person too. I go with my gut a lot, and I'm usually right.
Yeah, you are.
But
You are.
I'm not super analytical. I just I'll go off like I feel like this is the right path, but it's not me. It's my connection with the Lord, and it's my connection with God. And I do feel like He speaks to me. He gives me a peace, and I have known that peace. I remember the first time I felt it when we were supposed to move to West Virginia, and we prayed together as a couple, and I felt that peace. And once you feel it, like once you have the peace of God and you know what that feels like, it's just like, I don't know, it's like a cheat code in life. Because every decision you make after that, if you don't feel that in your heart, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I just won't do it. And if you do feel it, it's like, okay, I'm afraid, but this is my path. I know it. And so that's absolutely where that played in. But it can be hard to get your mind to overcome those exaggerations.
Yeah.
Fear is strong. It is powerful.
It is.
It can trick you. It can wipe you out. So it's definitely something that we have to work through with big decisions.
Yeah.
And we face it too. Even when you have the peace of God, I don't mean to over spiritualize. Like you definitely, even when you know the path that God has given you, it's terrifying. Sometimes God's path is the most terrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
But faith moves when fear says to stop.
Yes.
And so it comes down to fear's going to tell you, play it safe, stay comfortable, stay where you're at. But what people don't realize, and what we've learned sometimes the hard way, is that's when you miss out. It's when you're missing out on life and adventure and even sometimes taking a risk. And it's not this weird gambling like, oh, we'll see where it lands. No, it's just being able to trust God in major moves that He knows what He's doing. His timing is going to be perfect. He's going to be spot on. He's going to lead. He's not going to leave us.
Yeah.
And where faith is saying, okay, let's step out. Let's do something great. Fear is going to scream.
Yeah.
Because Satan wants us comfortable. Satan knows if he can get a Christian, like, don't ever step out of your comfort zone. You're introverted, so you don't need to ever tell anybody about Christ.
Right.
You don't need to ever invite anybody to church. You just are who you are.
Yeah.
That's someone who really could be used of Satan more than they are of God.
Yeah.
But it's when you put that fear to the side, step out of that comfort zone in life, in a job, in adventure, in travel, in all these things that God didn't create us just to be fearful of the news and finances. And no, He's made us to be warriors, to charge and to do something great with our life.
And so if you look in the Bible, it's so cool. So many verses are about be not afraid, do not be afraid, fear not, I am with you, I will never leave you or forsake you.
Many.
Like there are a ton of verses about not being afraid because God is with us. Doesn't mean He doesn't say, don't be afraid, you'll never face anything. Don't be afraid, I'll stand up and, guard you from any hurt or any pain. No, I mean, quite the opposite. Christians are called to bear a cross.
Right.
That is, being a Christian is taking up your cross. It's not all fun and games, and it's not an easy life most of the time. We're cross bearers. We're image bearers. These are weights that God has said, if you follow me, there are going to be people that hate you. There are going to be people that despise you for my name's sake. But rejoice and be exceeding glad. Great is your reward in heaven. That fear that we have it's not based in a spiritual reality. Fear is based in a physical reality.
Yeah, that's good.
If you're not a Christian, you have every reason to fear. You have reason to fear everything.
That's right.
But if you know the Lord, the fear is baseless because He goes before us.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
I think we'll leave you with this week is live a life that's full of faith. Live a life that's not scared of everything. I mean, if you are saved listening to this podcast, you are salt and you are light.
Yes.
And you were meant not to live in this cowardly, scared world where everything affects us. You and I and our listeners were made for something so much more.
That's right.
So go forward this week and leave that fear behind and let's do something great for God.
Thanks for listening. Have a great week.